Tonight on Sports Extra, high school football action in North Dakota and Minnesota. We hear from the Bison, the Dragons, and the Jimmies before their weekend games. Carson Wentz will lead the Vikings once again, and we have the nominees for the Chris Heise Play of the Week. KVRR Sports Extra starts right now. Good evening and welcome to KVRR Sports Extra. I'm Aaron Walling and that's Ryan Bolin. A lot to get through tonight, and we of course start on the gridiron with high school football.
That is right. We start east of the Red River in Moorhead, where the Moorhead Spuds battle the best of the best in Minnesota, Maple Grove. The Crimson are the defending 6A champions and are coming in with a winning streak of 17 games that dates back to the start of last season. The game ball being delivered from a skydive. Quite the entrance there. Maple Grove, they are going to strike first in this one on special teams. TJ Williams, 32-yard punt return touchdown. It's a walk in the park for him, and it's 7-0 Crimson. Spuds, though, they have a response. No Jet Feeney again. Austin Dryberg finds David Mack on a 4th and goal. 6-yard touchdown to tie this game at 7. But the Crimson too much for Moorhead tonight. Josh Thompson outrunning the defense 26 yards to the end zone for the 7-point lead. And the Crimson defense making plays as well. Dryberg's pass picked off by Ryder Skansen. The defending 6A champs go on to win big, 56-14, the final. In Glendon tonight, the DGF Rebel faithful hoping their squad can defeat a tough 2A opponent in Staples Motley. Rebel is with the ball here, but it's the Cardinals coming away with a turnover. Aiden Caldwell with the forced fumble and the recovery, but on the ensuing drive, DGF's defense coming away with a stop. This ball taken away by Michael Whitney, ruled out of bounds. His foot was on the line, but a turnover on downs regardless. But after getting a stop, the Cards are back in business. Eli Rutten to Turner Beachy down to the 1. Staples Motley would convert later to take a 21-12 lead. DGF looking for a response. A nice play here. Wyatt Conklin to Whitney. It's a big gain to move the chains, but nothing would come of that drive. The Cardinals come away with the win tonight, 28-18 over the Rebels.
Now checking in on some other scores in Minnesota in Class 4A. Fergus Falls stays unbeaten with the 35-21 win over Princeton. And Detroit Lakes drops to 1-4 on the year after falling to Rocori 21-7, the final in that one. A couple of 3A versus 2A battles tonight. 2A powerhouse Barnesville is in Perham tonight. The Trojans come away with the 20-13 win. And 2A Pelican Rapids battling 3A East Grand Forks. The Vikings pick up the 20-14 win.
Couple more for you. Battles in the of the unbeaten in Class A. Otter Tail Central and Breckenridge both 4-0 coming into tonight. Breckenridge is the team leaving the field undefeated with the 42-point shutout win. And Red Lake County and Manobin Waubun both 4-0. It's the Thunderbirds coming away with the win, 21-6, the final. To North Dakota now. And Aaron, the trend continues. We have a new number 1 in Division 3A. It's Shanley. We'll get to their highlights in a bit. But first, the rematch of last season's Dakota Bowl.
Yeah, that's right. The defending champs West Fargo Cheyenne is at Davies tonight, and the Eagles are looking to avenge their 2024 Dakota Bowl defeat. And Davies is doing what they normally do, driving down the field with their wing T offense. Xavier Muse under center, Colton Tesh. Oh, he just broke some ankles and goes into the end zone. Davies strikes first over the Mustangs. How will Cheyenne respond, though? Well, L.J. Satterum in shotgun, pump fake, lets it go, and it's caught by Riker Birnbaum, and he is going to the house. 80-yard touchdown for the junior. That sophomore has a bazooka for an arm. Get that to Birnbaum there. Right now, Davies is down 7-6, looking to Colby Nelson to give them the lead. The snap is good, and the kick is away, and he nails it from 43 yards out, and the Eagles go on to win 51-27 over Cheyenne. Now over to Fargo North, the Spartans have a tough task ahead of them. The West Fargo Horse Hawks offense, they've been on fire so far. Early third down for North. Kellen Doherty fires, but that's broken up by Izzy Bauer. Hawks now with the ball in Wildcat formation. And this is going to be a toss to Jackson Narum. He's got blockers, dives for the pylon, waiting for the call. Touchdown, Hawks. North down 6-0, needing a response here. Fumble on the read option, and Bauer picks it up. He's got nothing but daylight in front of him, just like in the state title game. Bauer comes up with a defensive touchdown. Horse rolls to a 56-13 win.
And here's that number 1 team in 3A. It's homecoming weekend for West Fargo, and the royalty on the field hoping for a win over the Deacons. It's a fast start, though, for the Packers. First play of the game, and the kick goes to Ian Scarry. Kick it away from him because he weaves through the Deacons, and in fact, he weaves through everyone. A touchdown on the opening kickoff, and a 2-point conversion to follow puts West Fargo up 8-0. Max getting run over by the sideline there, it looks like. However, the Deacons are not deterred on their first possession. Jax Mattern looks to go deep, and that's exactly what he does. A big completion through the air to Jake Kraft down to the goal line. It's Mattern with the quick pass. Landon Mitchell, no one can stop him, and we have ourselves a tie game at 8 after another 2-point conversion. The top-seeded Deacons avoid the upset. They win 36-28.
Now down to Fargo South, the Bruins are taking on the third-ranked Grand Forks Central Knights, and South currently holds a 10-6 lead over Central in the first. Central in shotgun, though. No Elise. Play action. Fires cut by Brooklyn Bruce, and no one will catch him. The senior goes 59 yards to the end zone, and the Knights take a 13-10 lead. After some early trouble, Central trying to find their footing on defense, and they swarm Austin Morris in the backfield, just nowhere to go. Second quarter now, still 13-10. Lease is going to take the snap, end around, fakes the defense and me. And look out, Zade Martin is off to the races. The senior has one man trailing, but it won't matter. Martin goes 88 yards, and Central survives a barn burner, though, winning 41-38 over Fargo South.
Some other scores in Division 2A. Second-ranked Kindred stays unbeaten with a dominant 42-7 win over Grand Forks Red River. And fourth-ranked Devil's Lake hosting Jamestown tonight. The Firebirds winning that one 41-27. And one more in 2A. Fifth-ranked Central Cass hosting Wahpeton tonight. The Squirrels improving to 4-1 on the year with the 40-point shutout victory.
In Division A, some Region 2 scores. Top-ranked Langdon area Munich hosting Thompson tonight. The Cardinals win it to stay unbeaten 34-6. And the 4-1 Grafton Spoilers looking to spoil the unbeaten season for Park River area, but are unsuccessful. The Aggies win big 39-8. And in Region 1, Hillsborough Central Valley hosts Valley City tonight. The Burros win it by 28 to improve to 4-2 on the year. And Lisbon hosting 5th-ranked EEK. The Thunder win it 43-12, dropping Lisbon to 500 on the year.
And checking in on the top two teams in North Dakota 9-man, both coming away with huge victories. New Rockford Cheyenne winners over Minto by 68 and Lemoore over Griggs by 57.
That's a whole lot of points. But after the break, we catch up with our college football programs ahead of Saturday's games. Welcome back, folks. The North Dakota State Bison are back in action this week to take on South Dakota to kick off Missouri Valley Football Conference action. The 3-0 Bison have had players with not a lot of experience stepping up in big spots, and is paying off for NDSU.
It's interesting. We have cultivated depth in all three areas through the first 3 weeks and getting those guys some time. But it's not just time when they're going out and executing. The safeties in particular, you know, those 5 guys that have played, the disguises look the same. They're really operating and functioning at a high level. So we thought from a self-scout standpoint, that's really improved.
The Bison offense will have their toughest test of the season when they face South Dakota's defense on Saturday. After losing the first 2 games of the year to Iowa State and Lamar, the Yotes have picked up back-to-back wins, and they've held Drake to only 302 yards this past weekend. But they also haven't faced an offense like the Bison, who ranked 5th in the nation at 500.47 yards a game.
This defensive front, including the linebackers, is very big and strong. We will have to strain for 60 minutes to get every yard out there. And versus the bull rush, we're going to have to get our hands inside and our cleats in the ground because they go 325 at one D tackle and 310 at the other, and their DNs are all north that play of 250, 255. It's going to be, they know what they're doing defensively, and they play to their players' strengths.
The Code Green defense will be taking on one of the best running backs in the nation this Saturday. L.J. Phillips Jr. is 5th in the nation with 517 yards rushing, averaging just over 129 a game and 7.2 a carry. But that's also been a strength for the Bison defense as they ranked 5th, only giving up 79.3 per game. Here's Coach Polsek on how this will be a huge battle on the front lines.
To make them one-dimensional, again, like any other week, is critical, and not let them get off with the start they had last year. I mean, they really hurt us with the outside zone play, especially formations into the boundary, and so having some answers for that.
This homecoming game will be a battle between ranked conference rivals. The Bison are looking to enact revenge from last year when they lost 29-28 to the Coyotes. Top-ranked NDSU faces 17th and 18th ranked South Dakota tomorrow at 1 p.m. at the Fargo Dome. The North Dakota Fighting Hawks are heading into the bye week at 2-2 with 2 road and 2 home wins. Here's head coach Eric Schmidt on UND getting some rest before the conference slate.
We want to care for these guys. We're trying to do everything we can, like I said before, to make sure that we put them in a position to be able to be successful. And we've seen some of those things, just with even some of the weight gains and things that we've seen early on here in the season that we're tracking. Like guys are taking advantage of the resources that they have here, and that developmental piece is going to continue on. I think it's helped us.
Checking in on the UND defense, they've been up and down this season. At times, looking strong on the field, especially stopping rushing attacks, holding foes to only 85.2 yards a game, which is 9th best in the nation. But they've also seen their unit give up fourth quarter leads. Now they have some time to prepare for their Missouri Valley Football Conference games that start next week.
That's what this is about. Like it's winning the start every single time. Win the pre-snap, Win the cycle of the snap. Like get lined up, be in a loaded stance, get off the rock at the right time, play the right technique, and if you do that, you start right. We have enough, I think, ability on our team to be able to be successful.
On the offensive side of the ball, UND has had success on the field. Jared Kaminsky can throw the ball well with a plethora of weapons, but there are aspects in where North Dakota has struggled. For example, they rank 60th in the nation with a 37.5% third down conversion and 73rd with a red zone offense of 80%. Offensive coordinator Isaac Frichte says this will be a focus for the Fighting Hawks during this upcoming bye week.
That's going to be our emphasis, getting back to the basics. And we do ball security every single day throughout the week of practice, and it's going to continue. That's important to us. We got to have a heightened emphasis on third downs and in the red zone and 2-minute situations because you get what you emphasize, and we just got to keep emphasizing it. But overall, we've done a decent job. Just got to continue to be more disciplined and more consistent as we move forward.
The Fighting Hawks will come off their bye week on October 4th against Northern Iowa at the Unidome in Cedar Falls, Iowa. The MSUM Dragons are trying to bounce back after a tough last week loss. And unfortunately, it doesn't get any better as they take on 16th ranked Minnesota Duluth. The Bulldogs are 4-0 coming off a dominant win over Sioux Falls. And they are led by Kyle Walljasper. The redshirt senior quarterback has been unreal running the ball, and he recently went for 121 yards and 4 touchdowns, averaging 7.6 yards a carry. Head coach Steve Lacqua shares what the challenge of facing the offense like this is like.
They're playing with all 11. He's not handing it off. He's creating an extra gap, an extra person to defend, and that's really difficult on defenses. And so it's not just about being gap sound. You've got to be. They add a gap with that guy, and so defensively, we've got to make sure that we're changing the picture on him. But we're really rallying the football. One tackler's not going to bring him down. It's got to be a group effort.
The Dragons will look to get back into the win column when they take on the 16th ranked Duluth at noon tomorrow, and it will be a tough test at James S. Molosky Stadium. Now to the Jamestown Jimmies. The Jimmies are looking for their first win of the season after falling to Minnesota State Mankato this past weekend. Up next is Concordia St. Paul on the road to continue conference play. While Jamestown is still experiencing growing pains after going from the NAIA level to Division II, the current roster hasn't given up according to head coach Brian Mistro. That includes Evan Smith, a redshirt sophomore linebacker that has battled back from injuries and a position change, who got his first sack this past weekend.
What the expectations were in the room and what we needed to see out of that position. And he's taken it and ran with it, man. And he's a guy that I'm going to talk about for a long time after he's gone, because not a lot of dudes can battle, medical injury, red shirt, another injury, and then in their third year of college, like, all right, finally I get to actually play football. And so it's been really fun to watch his smile running around in the hallways, man, because he didn't have it for a while. And I think being able to get that back is a testament of the type of kid that he is.
The Jimmies look to get their first win of the season as they take on the Golden Bears at noon tomorrow at the Seafoam Stadium in St. Paul. After the break, we check in on the Vikings preparing for their game in Dublin, Ireland.
Fresh off a dominant win over the Cincinnati Bengals Sunday afternoon, the Minnesota Vikings venture across the pond this weekend with a 2-1 record. Their opponent Sunday owns an identical 2-1 mark, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Dublin, Ireland will be the Vikings' home this weekend as they take on Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. Former NDSU Bison quarterback Carson Wentz is set to make his second start for the Vikings. Last week against Cincinnati, Wentz did his job, protecting the football and tossing 2 touchdowns on 14 of 20 passing for 173 yards in the 38-point win. This week, it's about building on that performance against a historically solid Steelers defense.
Fun. Feels great. I did this for quite a long time leading up until the little hiatus there. So feels good. Feels, normal, I guess, so to speak. And right back in it this week, and tight turnaround like always with obviously weird circumstances, all the things, but feels good. Every rep right now is huge. I've still only been here maybe a month. I don't even know what the actual time frame has been, but every rep, every practice rep, every walkthrough rep right now is just, I want them all. I want them all, and we get them all on film. And I want to talk to coaches and just kind of get their feedback. And I'm so hungry for just understanding as much as I can about this offense. And it's been definitely part of my process so far.
For the game itself, while the Vikings are dealing with a few injuries, rookie guard Donovan Jackson, one of the bigger ones, Minnesota does get back a key piece to the offense. After serving his 3-game suspension, wide receiver Jordan Addison will make his season debut. That is something head coach Kevin O'Connell is excited about.
Jordan's in shape. He's been working his tail off to make sure he's ready to go. It'll be a big week of practice for him. I'm expecting him to have fresh legs, and when Jordan Addison has fresh legs, that's normally a really good thing. So just can't wait to get him back. The guys are so excited to have him back full time for real.
Man, it feels amazing. First game back, going overseas. Don't get no better than that. But most importantly, it just feels good being around the guys. It's tough. It's always tough. Not being out there with the teammates and having to watch it on TV. But like I said, it just feels good to be back, being around the guys, and just get back in the mix.
The Vikings and Steelers kick off at 8:30 a.m. local time Sunday at Croke Park in Dublin, Ireland. It is technically a road game for Minnesota, but the team expects about 40% of the crowd to be supporters. Historically, the Vikings are undefeated in international games, including 4-0 in the regular season. They'll look to make it 5-0 Sunday morning. A look at who will be available Sunday morning for Minnesota. Rookie guard Donovan Jackson, as I mentioned, will be out at least until after the bye week after undergoing wrist surgery this week. Quarterback J.J. McCarthy is, of course, out again, but he did make the trip overseas with the team. And linebacker Andrew Van Ginkel will not play. Expect an expanded role for second-year edge rusher Dallas Turner in his absence. No other designations for the Vikings, which means center Ryan Kelly returns after a 1-week absence, and defensive lineman Javon Hargrave will suit up after sustaining a chest injury last Sunday. After the break, we reveal our nominees for the Chris Heise Play of the Week.
Welcome back. It is now time for the best part of the show. Let's take a look at this week's Chris Heise Play of the Week nominees.
4 plays to choose from this week. Let's take a look.
Yeah, up first, someone call it Dr. Colton Tesh. Broke that guy's ankles on his way to the end zone. Just nasty work for the Davies Eagles. Here it is again. Now watch as Tesh takes the handoff, goes through the hole, and then he makes a move, leaves the defender in the dust, and he will score for the Eagles.
Play 2, West Fargo hosting Shanley, and talk about a way to start a football game. Ian Scarry finding the creases, and no one will catch him. 90 yards to the house to take an early lead on the top-ranked Deacons. And our cameraman Max Mueller getting trampled by the sideline, it appears there in the process. Scarry here using his vision to cut back to the far sideline, and his speed takes care of the rest.
Our third play is up north off the read option. The exchange is fumbled, and here comes Izzy Bauer. He scoops it up, and no one will stop him. A huge defensive touchdown for the Horace Hawks once more. Read option for Fargo North, and the ball is dropped, bounces around, and swooping in is Bauer here, and you can't catch him as he goes to the end zone for the Hawks.
Play 4, Thursday night. Shanley versus Fargo North. Shanley's Jackson McAllister from 50 yards out, putting this ball on a line to the upper corner to net the goal. One more time for you. The junior with an unreal strike, and that ball just found its home.
What? Who should win? That is for you to decide at home. We have 4 plays to choose from. Is it Tesh's ankle breaker touchdown for Fargo Davies? Ian Scarry's kickoff return touchdown for West Fargo? Is it Bauer's scoop and score touchdown for Horace? Or is it Jason McAllister's strike for Shanley? Vote on our X page at KVR Sports and at the KVR Facebook page, and we'll reveal the winner on Monday night.
Very successful week of high school football. Obviously, tomorrow we got the Cobbers we'll be covering and NDSU homecoming versus South Dakota. They've lost 2 straight regular season games. Do they end that streak?
See that, and that's the big
Against
thing.
South Dakota, not 2 straight regular season.
They also have South Dakota also has a big quarterback. Bauman's a huge guy, so we'll see how that goes. You're going to be at that game. I'll be at the Cobbers. A lot of fun, and then also check out on social media as we'll be having more of the other games and coverage through that. Have a great night.